how long did ancient humans really live? We often hear claims about lifespans being shockingly short, 30 or 40 years tops. But is that the whole truth? What if these numbers don't reflect how long people could live, but instead highlight harsh living conditions, infant mortality, and other factors? In this video, we'll explore the real story behind ancient human lifespans, uncovering the facts and debunking common myths. Let's dive into the fascinating history of how our ancestors lived and how long they really lasted. The notion that ancient humans lived only until their 30s or 40s is a common misconception, often rooted in a misunderstanding of historical and statistical data. When historians or anthropologists refer to an average life expectancy in ancient times, they are discussing an average, which is dramatically impacted by the incredibly high rates of infant and child mortality. This doesn't mean that no one lived beyond their 30s. In fact, many individuals who survived the precarious early years of life often lived into their 50s, 60s, or even beyond. To understand this better, it's important to recognize that survival in ancient times was a game of probabilities. Infants faced an uphill battle against infections, malnutrition, and accidents. Childhood diseases like measles or whooping cough, which are now preventable or treatable, were often fatal in societies without modern medicine. Because so many children died young, their deaths heavily skewed the average life expectancy downward. A population where half the children die before reaching age 5 could have a life expectancy of 30, even if many adults lived decades longer. It's also worth noting that ancient records, when they exist, rarely emphasized age. Historical documents from Mesopotamia, Egypt, or Greece often focus on rulers or significant figures who tended to live longer lives due to access to better resources. These exceptions can skew our perspective as well, but archaeological evidence paints a more nuanced picture of the typical person's life. Skeletal remains show wear and tear that suggests some individuals lived long enough to develop arthritis, lose teeth, or suffer from other age-related conditions. These findings challenge the oversimplified notion that people were universally old by their 30s. The myth persists because averages are easy to misunderstand, and modern interpretations often oversimplify ancient life. By framing all ancient humans as living short, brutal lives, we overlook the resilience and adaptability that allowed many to live full and productive lives well past what we assume. This misrepresentation diminishes our understanding of ancient societies and the challenges they overcame to thrive. Understanding the difference between life expectancy and lifespan is crucial to unraveling the truth about ancient human longevity. Life expectancy refers to the statistical average age of death within a population, while lifespan represents the maximum age that individuals in that population could theoretically reach. These two metrics often tell vastly different stories. Life expectancy in ancient times was undoubtedly lower than it is today, often hovering between 25 and 40 years, depending on the region, era, and specific conditions. However, this number doesn't mean that people simply dropped dead once they reached their 30s. Rather, it reflects the average age of death, heavily influenced by infant and childhood mortality. If you remove the deaths of young children from the equation, the life expectancy of adults increases significantly. For example, archaeological studies of ancient Egyptian mummies show that many individuals who reached adulthood often lived into their 50s or 60s. Similarly, skeletal remains from the Paleolithic era suggest that humans who survived the hazards of early life had the potential to live surprisingly long lives. The maximum lifespan of ancient humans, biologically speaking, was not drastically different from ours. Genetic studies have shown that Homo sapiens have long had the capacity to live into their 70s or 80s, assuming favorable conditions. Moreover, ancient texts and oral traditions often include mentions of elders and respected leaders who lived long lives. In societies with oral storytelling, elders were the keepers of knowledge, passing down traditions and wisdom. Their presence suggests that living a long life, while perhaps not the norm, was certainly not unheard of. The confusion between life expectancy and lifespan often arises from how these numbers are used in historical contexts. Life expectancy reflects the harsh realities of ancient living conditions, high mortality rates, lack of medical care, and frequent exposure to violence or famine. Lifespan, on the other hand, reflects the potential of an individual to live a long life if they avoided the pitfalls of their environment. Understanding this distinction allows us to see ancient humans not as fragile or doomed, but as remarkably resilient survivors. The life of an ancient human was marked by constant challenges, many of which directly impacted survival and longevity. Disease, malnutrition, injuries, and violence were ever-present threats, making life precarious even for the hardiest individuals. Understanding these challenges provides a deeper appreciation for the resilience and ingenuity of our ancestors. Disease was perhaps the most significant obstacle to long life. In the absence of modern medicine, even minor infections could become deadly. Epidemics of smallpox, tuberculosis, and other diseases could decimate populations. Sanitation was minimal in most ancient societies, allowing waterborne diseases like dysentery and cholera to thrive. Parasitic infections, such as those caused by worms or protozoa, were also common, weakening individuals and making them more susceptible to other illnesses. Malnutrition compounded these problems. In agricultural societies, food supplies were often at the mercy of weather, pests, or poor storage practices. Famine could wipe out entire communities, while even in better times, diets often lacked the variety needed to provide essential nutrients. Vitamin deficiencies, such as scurvy from lack of vitamin C or rickets from lack of vitamin D, were common and could lead to chronic health problems or early death. Injuries were another constant hazard. Without advanced tools or techniques to treat wounds, even minor injuries could lead to infections and death. Broken bones, which are evident in many ancient skeletons, might heal improperly, leading to chronic pain or disability. Hunting, farming, and building activities exposed individuals to accidents, while conflict and violence added to the toll. In some societies, warfare was a near-constant state, and surviving soldiers often carried the scars, both physical and psychological, of their battles. Women faced additional risks related to childbirth. Without access to modern medical care, complications during pregnancy or delivery were often fatal for both mother and child. This high maternal mortality rate was a significant factor in keeping overall life expectancy low, particularly for women in their reproductive years. Despite these daunting challenges, ancient humans found ways to adapt and thrive. They developed herbal remedies, surgical techniques, and practices like trepanation to treat injuries or illnesses. Social bonds also played a crucial role in survival. Communities often cared for their sick and elderly, evidence of which can be seen in skeletons showing healed injuries that would have required long-term support. The challenges faced by ancient humans were immense, but their ability to survive and, in many cases, live long lives is a testament to their resilience and resourcefulness. By confronting these harsh realities, we gain a deeper understanding of the strength and ingenuity of our ancestors. The study of ancient human longevity relies heavily on evidence gathered from archaeological finds and genetic research. Together, these fields provide insights into the ages that ancient humans reached, the factors that influenced their health, and how these findings compare to modern populations. Unlike historical records, which often focused on elites or lacked reliable age markers, physical evidence provides a more grounded and detailed picture. One of the most reliable sources of information comes from skeletal remains. Bones can tell a detailed story about an individual's life, including their approximate age at death, health, and lifestyle. Indicators such as bone density, joint wear, and dental condition provide clues about how long people lived and what kind of lives they led. For example, teeth often contain growth markers similar to tree rings, which help researchers estimate age with surprising accuracy. Ancient skeletons have revealed that individuals who survived childhood could live into their 50s, 60s, and even 70s. Wear patterns on teeth and bones also suggest how individuals aged, including the development of arthritis or osteoporosis, conditions associated with longer lifespans. Pathological studies of ancient remains reveal evidence of diseases that were common in the past. These include tuberculosis, syphilis, and osteoarthritis. While such diseases undoubtedly shortened the lives of some, the fact that older individuals developed conditions like arthritis suggests that they were living long enough for such age-related diseases to manifest. Moreover, signs of healing in broken bones or injuries provide evidence of caregiving, suggesting that ancient communities supported their elderly or infirm members. Mummies from civilizations like Egypt and South America provide another layer of insight. Advanced preservation techniques have allowed researchers to study the soft tissues of these individuals, revealing not only their approximate ages, but also their diets, medical conditions, and even evidence of surgical procedures. For instance, Connecticut scans of Egyptian mummies have revealed signs of atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, which suggests that even ancient humans faced health challenges similar to our own. Genetic studies have also expanded our understanding of ancient human longevity. By analyzing ancient DNA extracted from remains, scientists can identify genetic markers associated with long life or resistance to certain diseases. These studies suggest that ancient humans shared much of the same genetic capacity for longevity as modern humans, but environmental factors played a larger role in determining their lifespans. Genes associated with robust immune systems, for instance, would have been crucial for surviving infectious diseases, but these benefits could be nullified by factors like malnutrition or injury. Population studies across different regions and time periods show significant variability in life expectancy and longevity, influenced by factors such as climate, diet, and societal organization. For example, hunter-gatherer societies often had lower rates of chronic diseases like diabetes or heart disease due to their active lifestyles and diverse diets, but they faced higher risks from accidents or infections. In contrast, early agricultural societies might have had more stable food supplies, but were more susceptible to malnutrition and disease outbreaks due to denser living conditions. These findings are crucial for dispelling myths about ancient human lifespans. They demonstrate that while living conditions were undoubtedly harsh, individuals who survived the hazards of youth had the potential to live long and full lives. By piecing together the clues left in bones, teeth, and DNA, researchers have reconstructed a nuanced picture of ancient human longevity that highlights their resilience and adaptability. Studying the lifespans and lifestyles of ancient humans doesn't just provide historical insights. It also offers valuable lessons for modern health and longevity. While our ancestors lived in vastly different conditions, many of the factors that influence their health remain relevant today. By examining their diets, activity levels, and social structures, we can uncover strategies to enhance our own well-being. One of the most striking aspects of ancient human life was the close relationship between their diets and their health. Hunter-gatherer societies, for instance, subsisted on varied diets rich in proteins, fiber, and natural fats, with minimal sugar or processed foods. This contrasts sharply with modern diets, which are often high in refined carbohydrates and saturated fats. The absence of modern diseases like type 2 diabetes and obesity in ancient populations suggests that returning to more natural and diverse eating habits could help combat these contemporary health issues. Physical activity was another defining characteristic of ancient human life. Our ancestors were constantly on the move, hunting, gathering, farming, or building. This level of activity not only kept their bodies strong, but also contributed to their overall health. Today, Sedentary lifestyles are a leading cause of chronic illnesses, including heart disease and osteoporosis. Incorporating regular physical activity, even in the form of walking or moderate exercise, could help modern individuals achieve some of the health benefits enjoyed by ancient humans. Social bonds and community played a significant role in ancient human survival, and they remain critical for mental and emotional well-being today. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient communities often cared for their elderly and disabled members, suggesting a strong sense of mutual support. Modern research echoes this finding, showing that individuals with strong social networks tend to live longer, healthier lives. Loneliness and isolation, in contrast, have been linked to increased mortality rates. Another lesson from ancient humans is the value of simplicity and connection to nature. Without the constant stresses of modern life, like information overload, urban noise, or 24/7 work schedules, our ancestors may have experienced a different type of mental clarity and focus. While life was undoubtedly harder in many ways, the rhythms of their days were closely tied to natural cycles, fostering a balance that modern lifestyles often disrupt. Incorporating mindfulness practices or spending time in nature can help restore this sense of equilibrium. Finally, ancient humans remind us of the importance of adaptability and resilience. Their ability to survive and thrive in challenging environments required constant innovation and problem solving. Modern challenges, from climate change to public health crises, call for a similar mindset. By studying how ancient societies adapted to their circumstances, we can find inspiration for addressing today's global challenges. Ultimately, while modern medicine and technology have dramatically extended average life expectancy, the principles of good health remain timeless. Balanced diets, regular activity, strong social connections, and an appreciation for the natural world were key to ancient human longevity, and they continue to be vital for us today. By bridging the past and the present, we can learn how to not only live longer, but also live better.